Alpha Pickleball Podcast, where we slice through the noise to bring you the juiciest insights, strategies, and stories from the dynamic world of pickleball. Join us as we serve up engaging conversations with top players, coaches, and enthusiasts, giving you an ace perspective on all things pickleball. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just stepping onto the court, get ready for a volley of knowledge that'll elevate your game to alpha levels. Let the rallies begin.
All right. Welcome again to the show. I'm your host, Tats. We're really excited to have Mari Humberg on the show. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So I see you have a extensive tennis background.
Yes, lots of years of tennis. I started very, very young. Mom and dad played tennis, so kind of easy to get into this sport. Started playing around a bit with them and fell in love with it. So started playing like tournaments at 9 years old. So it's been a minute. I'm 27 now. So junior tennis all the way through. Always had that little dream of going pro, and then kind of it's tough. You know, I played at a good D1, and the level in tennis is just crazy across the board. And that dream kind of slowly, sailed away. And I realized not that just I wasn't going to make it, but also it's not what I wanted to do because I was exhausted after college. So after college tennis, I kind of stopped and played for fun a little bit, but nothing too serious with tennis after that.
Yeah. I mean, after tennis, what did you do?
So I was working. I had a real job. I actually started an internship during my last year of college, and I stayed there the whole time. It's been my only job out of college, an advertising technology company called eltoro.com. So.
And when did you discover pickleball?
So back in 2022, a few of my coworkers played, and I went and played with them. And not that they can hang, they can hit the ball around, but with my tennis background, I went out and played with them. And to me, I was like, this isn't fun. I don't feel like I would get my competitive drive back from this, right? I'm just hitting the ball hard, no control, paddles that don't give you much. So I didn't really play much after that. And I went to play with them a couple of times until another friend convinced me to go out and play. And he claimed he was really good. You know how these people are. They're the best. They can beat everyone in the city, whatever it is. And I went out to a park with him, a park that's always full around here. There's 16 outdoor courts, super, super nice, right next to the tennis courts, which the first thing I notice is I get there and the pickleball courts are all full and the tennis courts are all empty, which hurts me. As a tennis player, I was looking at that saying, oh my gosh, this is getting crazy. But I went out and played and I got killed by some ladies in the local community. And I was like, what just happened? I was so upset. Not because, winning and losing is part of it. I don't mind the winning and losing, but the fact that I had no idea how to fix it was beyond me. I was like, I need to start learning this thing. So more just to go back into a sport. I was training for a marathon at the time. So running on my own gets very boring. I'm not a big fan. So that just seemed like a lot more fun for cardio. So I started playing then and there, started picking it up immediately.
Yeah. I mean, so okay, you go there, you got wiped off the court. What was your action plan, drilling, whatnot? Like what were your steps to try to get back there and get that level up?
So I actually didn't drill until I stepped away from work, just because I had very limited amount of time in my days with working a full-time job. And I wanted to spend those hours playing so I could try all my shots rather than doing just one thing, which looking back might have been a mistake, but we fixed it now. But at the time I was really just going and watching a ton of videos because I was like, it seems like I'm doing something wrong, right? Why can't these people drop the ball perfectly in the kitchen and hit these little soft shots that I don't even know what they're called at the time, right? So I started just watching. And with my tennis skill, it's pretty easy to copy what I saw. So with time, I mean, not even 3 months after I played my first pro tournament. So it was pretty quick turnaround and not saying I performed great, but I did play my first pro tournament 3 months after that. 3.5 months.
Yeah, I mean, there's elements of the game that obviously, you see commonly, but there's other aspects that are uniquely yours. You want me to walk me through that?
Sure. So I've always been creative with my tennis game. So an old college coach of mine. So I played for two universities. I played for Winthrop University in South Carolina, and I played for the University of Louisville in Kentucky, which is where I'm at right now. But my Winthrop coach reached out and said, it's not fair that you're playing this game. It's basically just a smaller court for how you played tennis, which is really funny for me to hear. So I played tennis like I played pickleball. I sliced a ton. I had a lot of rolly shots, both on the topspin side and the slice shots. I was very creative with drop shots, lobs. I'm running around trying to get creative all the time in tennis too. So it's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't a fan of, my rallies in tennis were very short, 3 to 7 balls on average, because I would either win it quick or lose it quick. But I wasn't getting into baseline rallies. I wouldn't hit many topspin forehands. I had a good topspin backhand, but mostly slice on the forehand side. So I underhand served a ton, which is super uncommon in tennis. So
You
I just
underhand served in college?
quite a bit. Yeah.
Wow.
And
And
the
this
reason
was,
being,
yeah.
I had a lot of pain in my elbow, so I started doing it because of that. Now, the coach saw it, and this was in Louisville, and my coach will say the same thing. He saw it, and he's like, "That's actually pretty good. Whenever your elbow's fine, I'd like to see you vary it." So I did both.
So what's the keys? I never really served underhand in tennis. Like, what's the keys to making that work?
It's not ideal. I will say it's just so unorthodox that it throws people off. And in men's tennis, it's very unlikely that it would even work. But in women's, I would go for a super short serve with like a slice on it and get it to like roll over to the right. So a lot of times when I was serving from the left hand side, I would serve inside out, slice, short serve to get them coming into the net before the point even started.
Yeah, I mean, I see you do that with drops too. Is that kind of what it?
Right. Yes. I can send you a video of an underhand serve. I think I have one of those from college, but it wasn't like a thing that I did since I got to college. It was just, as I said, I was always looking for options, looking for ways to,
Yeah.
I wasn't the best baseliner. If I got into long rallies, I was going to lose. I got to find a way out of this. So
Yeah.
I was creative and I made it work. I had a pretty good college record. Ended up playing high in the lineup in singles, which is the more surprising one. I was always good at doubles. I really enjoyed the volleying and the going up to the net part of the game. But singles, I did pretty good too. So because of my creativity, definitely not because of my ground strokes.
Wow. Okay. So walk me through. I mean, I've seen you do your slice. I like the slice. I know some people give you grief over slice, but it looks like it's working. But you look like you hit different types of slices in different scenarios, varying. Walk me
Right.
through your thoughts of what you've learned playing that style of pickleball.
Right. So and I've gotten, everyone gave me a hard time from the start. It was just very comfortable to me. I didn't do this because, I didn't develop this after. I've had this shot. And what the people that train with me know, I have other shots. It's working right now. So I choose to use it. But if I play against someone that's killing my slice, I'll stop with the slice. Like,
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
seen
want
you
to
hit
lose either.
all these shots. Yeah, I've seen you obviously rotate aggressively both ways.
Right. So just the comfort zone, especially in women's, the slice really hurts the girls because the ball's so low. And yes, it is easier to drive a slice, but they have to get under the ball so much. I'm relatively long. I can take the ball out of the air. Hitting fourths is so much easier off my slice return. And the amount of missed thirds is actually crazy too. I mean, it's a very high percentage compared to what I get off my flat or my topspin return. So there's a big benefit there. Now, on the slice drops, I have both. I can do topspin, I can do flat. Technically, I can do flat and I can do slice. The reason why I like the slice one is that I can catch people on their way in, and I have better aim with my slice one than I do with my topspin one. So, I mean, the amount of times I hit the kitchen line and the ball skids with my slice, and I get free points off of it, very beneficial. It can loop a little bit higher, a little bit lower. I can hit it cross court. I can hit it down the line. I can hit it down the middle from both the backhand side and the forehand side. So it's just been something that I literally practice all three of them all the time. So I have the options. But up until now, the one that's worked the best for me has been the slice.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like you vary it and you're not giving them the same look because I think the ones that you criticize are the same kind of sitters that sit up, but it looks like you're just varying it so much. And
Right.
especially I think with when you play doubles, if you play with someone that spins it the other way, I think I can just physically see the rhythm very, very hard for the other side to get into a rhythm when the balls are rotating in opposite directions so aggressively.
Agreed. And the thing about the slices that are really, really easy to drive are the ones that sit a little bit higher with a lot of slice. I try to do the opposite. I try to do very low with not too much. So you can see that my wrist isn't moving much when I'm hitting that slice. It's actually very still on both the forehand and the left and the backhand side because I'm not looking to break the record of the most underhand underspin on a ball when I'm hitting those slices. I'm looking to just push the ball back and have them get under the ball for their third so I have time to get up for my fourth.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what the objective is there.
Another thing I noticed is you're hitting one-handers from the kitchen line. How's that work?
So I I honestly don't know where that came from because I have a two-handed backhand in tennis, right? And that was my best shot in tennis, my two-handed backhand. So I just realized when I first started playing and I was watching those videos, I saw a lot of two-handed volleys. But when I tried to do it, I have a two-handed volley, but I feel like my reach is um it's so much less. I can reach in so much further with just one hand.
Yeah,
I think the issue in women's is that a lot of girls don't have enough wrist strength to be able to hit that shot, right?
yeah,
Reach in and speed up with one hand. You see it a lot in the men's game. Why is
yeah,
it just guys doing it? So I started trying to copy the guys off of it instead of the girls. I was like, let me try it out. Like, oh, it's actually not bad. So I started doing a ton of lifting again to be able to maintain that strength up at the kitchen line. I have developed a two-hander when I'm in transition, for example. I do have more power with the two hands, but if I'm attacking out of the air in the kitchen line, I want to attack with one hand because it's very hidden, right? I hold the paddle back for a long time and people don't know if I'm going down the line, down the middle, or cross court. So my attack it's probably my best attack, the one-hander out of the air.
yeah. But I see you take it off the bounce too, which is awesome.
Yes, but if I take it off the bounce, I usually take it with two hands because I
Yeah,
can do a dink with two hands, or I can speed up with two hands. But it it's something that it's not consistent yet, right? Like I now drill every single day, and my shots are getting significantly more consistent. This is what I'm doing for a living now, so I, I have gotten a chance to develop more shots. So hopefully the two hander will come out a little bit more. I had every tournament that I play, someone comes up to me after a match and says, I saw you hit a two-handed backhand. Where did that come from? It's like, I've always had a two-handed backhand. I just don't hit it often enough for it to be seen. So hopefully it starts coming out a little bit more, but it's there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Walk me through what happens, any adjustments when you play mixed, because you're talking about playing in sort of women gender doubles, but when you play mixed, I mean, are there any adjustments you have to make with the shot selection?
Definitely. So I play more of an alpha role in women's doubles usually. I'm usually on the left side. I'm the aggressor. I like to speed up the ball. I like to create chaos. And in mixed, I have to let the guy do that a little bit more. So it's a bit of a transition to just know how to play that beta role. That's something that I've really been working on is just better counters, waiting a little bit more, right? I can still be aggressive in mixed, but for example, if I'm on the right side and I attack down the line and the guy's on the left, I will not get away with the speed ups that I get away with in women's doubles playing mixed. So I have to be more patient, right? I can't attack any ball and just be reckless in mixed. Not saying that I can be reckless in women's, but I can be a little bit more reckless in women's. So just the adjustment of becoming more of that beta role and being more patient and better shot selection so that I can set up my partner adequately is what I've been working on for mixed. But it is a transition, right? Especially for someone like me that likes to play that aggressive role in the women's game. I can't be that person in mixed. I like to be more aggressive, and every guy that plays with me knows that. Getting into it, they know I like to be a little bit more aggressive, but I don't need to be as aggressive as I am in women's.
Yeah. In terms of your slice, do you notice any difference in effectiveness and hitting that sort of
Yes. So some of the guys love hitting my slice off the bounce. But the rate of mistake is still higher than a regular flat return. So I do try to find the girl more. I also like to go behind the guy to their backhand because the guys like running into it on their forehand in the middle, usually. They're right-handed. So I just try to get it deep, make sure I'm hitting an actual clean return. A short return isn't effective in whatever event I'm playing, whether that be singles, doubles, mixed doubles. So I do work on my return a ton because I need to make sure it's deep, and I need to make sure I can, especially for when we're unwinding a stack, I need to make sure I can get there on time. If not, I'll get past the ton and mixed.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of discussion on working on return. For you, how do you work on the return? Do you play a lot more games? Do you have just people serving? Like when you say a lot, what does that mean?
So I like to drill a lot. So I try to play every day too, but I definitely drill every day when I'm home, right? That's my when I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, and I get a chance to actually stop for a week, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm drilling every day. I'm actually drilling right after this. It's nice outside. I'll get to go out and air for a bit. It's been a lot of indoors in Kentucky this year, but yeah, I do a lot of, and by a lot, I just mean we'll practice serves and returns at the end of drilling sessions, and not just like stop the ball and serve it back, right? I want to serve and then return. And I love playing skinny singles when I drill too, because I feel like that's the combination of everything that we just worked on. I typically start with dinks. I go to transition. Transition is what I work on the most. I think that's what everyone should work on the most because to me, it's the hardest part of the game. And then obviously work on a ton of drops, a ton of drives, and serves and returns is something that we tend to skip over. I practice them a lot because I think the serve is a great asset to my game. I get a lot of short returns because I go for my serves, and I get a lot of missed thirds or bad thirds because I go for my returns. So a little bit of high risk, high reward, but the more you practice it, the less risky it gets. So
Yeah. You talked about creativity being one of your assets. Does it just happen naturally, or do you go into like rec games to try stuff, or like how does these ideas pop into your head?
most of them are naturally. And once I do it once, I'm like, ooh, I can try to do that again. Right. But there's a lot of misses when it comes to this too, right? It's not like a magical thing where out of nowhere I just can hit these shots. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But in a good example, and Alex, Judith, and Eva are my witnesses in this. In the bronze medal match for this past tournament last week, I think I hit more lobs than I've hit in my professional career in one game. I mean it. We could not pass them with the speed up down the middle. And I said, screw it. If I'm not going to get past them, I'm going to go above them. And it's something I have been working on lobs, but I have not used it in a match yet. And I used it the whole time. I mean, the amount of lobs you can find if you go look at that video, it's because nothing else was working. Let me get creative here. I'm taking it out of the air. They think I'm going to speed up. They get close to the line to try to counter, and I go over their heads, and we get a pop up, or we get an opportunity to win the point. So that's because I've done it in practice, right? I didn't out of nowhere come up with this shot. This doesn't happen in like live matches during tournaments. This happens in rec. So yes, I hit a lot of stupid shots. I'm glad my rec games are not recorded, but I come up with a lot of good options to be able to use in matches too. So again, it's just the fun of this sport. I genuinely love playing pickleball, and I have such a great time on the court. And these shots to me just make it even more interesting because, like, I sometimes hit a shot and I'm like, I've never even seen someone hit it, or I don't know if that's like, let me make sure I didn't step on a line or I didn't do something wrong here, because I feel like there's so much space still for creativity in pickleball that wasn't the case for tennis. So it just keeps me so much more engaged and intrigued, and trying to think of options, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Speaking of options, partnerships are important in pickleball. How do you view them, and what's the right partnership for you?
So that's a great question. I think partnerships was one of the hardest things starting off in pickleball. So again, I started in late August of 2022, and within a few months, I was playing pretty well. I got my first medal at the U.S. Open in 2023 in the split age event in women's doubles, but still a pro event. We'll take it. It was some great matches over there, but that was the first time that people saw me play and were interested in playing doubles with me. Up until that point, I was scrambling to find partners, and Because if I ask someone, I mean, they haven't seen me play or I don't have any results, why would they say yes? My tennis background doesn't matter. There's not too many local players that I could play with. So there wasn't really any options for me until you get that lucky break of I got partnered up with a really good senior pro. We got a win over Paris Todd and Beth Bellamy in the final. And we were on a stream and people got to see me play. And out of there, I started getting partnership options.
Got it.
And once you get partnership options, you start doing a little bit better in regular tournaments, and then you start kind of evolving from there. And now I've this year I've had some really good partners already. I'm really looking forward to continue to develop some of those partnerships. Next week I'm playing with Susanna Barr. That'll be the first time I'm playing with her. Really looking forward to that. I think Susanna is one of the strongest right side players in the game. I think she puts so much pressure on her opponents and does such a good job setting up someone like me that wants to be a little bit more crazy. So looking forward to that. And on the mixed side, I'm playing with Jack Monroe, also a first-time partnership. But I get to keep my left side, my favorite. But even though I have been working a ton on the right to be ready to play with the righty partners, but I get to dink cross court. I get to dink down the line with my backhand and sneak in there with some flicks. But it's just nice to start getting some of those partnerships that, when I started playing in 2022 and I went to watch videos, Susanna Barr's name was one of the first ones that I saw. And the fact that I'm getting to play with someone that I watched videos of is pretty cool. So just that development of partnerships is something fun to see. Getting to play some more with Georgia this year, another person that I watched videos of when I first started. Just a lot of cool names that I've gotten to know as people and as players and partner up with now and in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to some younger people that are trying to get into the game and make a run and play pro at some point. What tips do you have for them? You being experienced on the pro side.
Thanks for tuning in to the Alpha
I think,
Pickleball Podcast.
honestly,
with Tats.
you got to practice this game to get good at it. And by practice, I mean, I only got to a certain level with rec games because I had my extensive tennis background, but I don't know how much better I would have gotten if I kept just playing rec games. Now I actually take the time to drill specific things. So, for example, I can have the best backhand flick in the world or the best forehand speed up in the world, but if I don't hit it enough times, it's not going to be consistent enough when it comes to match play. You need to go hit it 100 times, not do it twice during a 2-hour rec session, right? So really focus on those things. I now miss significantly less dinks and they're better placed because I start my drilling sessions with at least 20 to 30 minutes of dinks every time. I don't like missing. I don't like, messing up the point. So you just get better at it. So just have the patience. It'll come with time. Watch a ton. And it doesn't mean that you have to copy exactly what others are doing, but it'll give you ideas of how you want to do something. I try to watch a bunch of different techniques, a bunch of different ways to do things. And then I choose my way of doing it. There's not one right way in pickleball. And that's, I think, one of the coolest parts about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there anything I haven't asked you, but you want to share?
I think honestly, just what I'm looking forward to this year, just playing a ton of tournaments. I've probably played more tournaments this year than I already played last year. I've played so many tournaments, but I'm looking forward to MLP. I'm looking forward to playing APPs and PPAs as well, just kind of doing my rounds and getting to see a bunch of different players. But just looking forward to competing as much as possible. I think that's what it comes down to for me. People ask, what's your objective? And I'm just like happy playing pickleball. So that's where I'm at right now in my career.
Perfect. Well, thank you for sharing.
Of course.